Today, more than 5 million people have Alzheimer's in the United States, and 15 million individuals are unpaid caregivers. And I know what their challenge is, how their patience is, and the dedication that they have for caring for people because I cared for my dad, or I did the best I could. It's a tough challenge. Now, I want to show you something. Today I'm walking with his watch. Now, he received this at Polytechnic High School here in San Francisco in 1931. I found it years later. It didn't work, and I had it restored. So sometimes when I do the sportscast at Channel 5, I walk on with this watch, and it's tucked in like this, and Ken Bastida sees it, and he says, he's got the same tired line every time. He says, "Hey, when's the train coming?" And for me, it is a reminder of my dad, and it symbolizes time. It symbolizes time lost for people like Gabby's grandfather, because every few seconds somebody is going to get Alzheimer's. The prevalence continues to grow. The cost of care is escalating to the hundreds of billions. We're destroying our families, we're destroying our finances, and we're destroying our future. This disease, folks, as you know, is relentless. But you know what? So are we. This train leaves in a few minutes, Ken. And I call it the human train. And we will walk towards cures, methods of treatments. We walk towards finding prevention. We walk towards the cure that I know is somewhere at the end of the line. So right now, I want everybody on board. Everybody has a ticket to the Alzheimer's train today. And every train needs an engineer. So I want to introduce you now to a woman who's really stepped up in the fight. She's in San Francisco. She's been walking for 7 years. And this Alzheimer's walk comes with a volunteer chair. You can imagine how much time it takes to put this event together. Our volunteer committee, without them, this event would not be possible. So please welcome the 2015 volunteer chair of this event, Melissa Shilliday. Melissa, come on up.
Thank you, Dennis. Good morning, everyone. I'm looking into the, hold on, I gotta put these glasses on. I'm looking at the crowd, and I think this is a reason to end Alzheimer's. Look at this location. What do y'all think? So today we have this beautiful walk down the marina. Let's let everyone in San Francisco know that we're here walking to end Alzheimer's. Thank you. As Dennis said, my name is Melissa Shilliday, and I have the honor to lead this chair this walk this year. This is my second year, and I'm very, very pleased to be here once again. First and foremost, I want to take a few minutes to thank some of the people who've made today's walk possible. None of us would be here without the generosity of our sponsors in the community who support us with funds, goods, and services. We want to first thank the Dolby people. They are our presenting sponsor, and we are honored to have you all here. Want to also thank Cal Pacific Medical Center, our platinum sponsor, and Tender Rose Home Care, as well as the Masonic Homes of California, our gold sponsors. Please give them all a big round of applause. And the list of the other sponsors that we have are over here, and you can look. They've all given generously, and we appreciate what they do as well. And then also I want to say thank you to our national teams across the country who are committed to joining forces with us. They recruit teams from their corporate headquarters and raise dollars critical to funding our mission. Please take a look at the banner hanging adjacent to the stage for the full list of companies who are members of our 2015 National Team Program. And of course, thank you to the dedicated volunteers who have worked so hard in these past few months. I'm gonna go off script here for a second and say that I literally have the best volunteer committee possible for this walk. I want to give them all a big hug from this stage. You'll see us, we're all in green. If you see them, thank them. They've come to meetings every single month and put this together, and without them, we could not do it. So all of you guys, you're in my heart. Thank you so much. And then, this is my plug. Even though this is my last year chairing the event, I'm gonna always be a volunteer on the committee because it's a lot of fun. So my plug is, if you're interested in becoming a volunteer on our committee, we would love to have you. We are a fun group of people. We do have fun at our meetings, there's no doubt about it. And you can go and right there, there's a, let me see, where are we going? To the Alzheimer's Association tent. Over there, you can sign up, and then we'll also be at the finish line if you're interested in volunteering. And then finally, a huge thank you and congratulations to our top individual fundraiser, who also has been on this committee for about 10 years. She's an amazing woman. Kathy Looney, you are the best, with $14,605. And then our top team fundraising to date, and I challenge everybody to challenge them, but we are proud of them today for raising, and it's Rosner Housewalkers. If you're here, they have raised $45,641. So again, thank you all for coming. We're excited you're here. It's a beautiful walk. I can tell you, this is one of the best venues possible, and we're thrilled you're here. Thank you again.
Hey, a hand for Melissa, the engineer of this event. Now, in the old days, they had the steam engine, and the steam engine needed coal to get the water hot and get the train running. And the coal is really the people and also the sponsors. Team Dolby over there is one of our biggest ones. And I welcome to the stage Mr. Andrew Delkamper from Dolby Laboratories, our presenting sponsor of this year's San Francisco Walk to End Alzheimer's, the coal that drives the engine.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I can tell you Dolby is really proud to be sponsoring this event, along with other companies sponsoring this event. This event is very personal to us. 2 years ago in September, we lost our founder, Ray Dolby. Many of you know Ray. He's a brilliant man. He was affected by Alzheimer's. This became very personal for us. This is something we believe very strongly in. We really support this Alzheimer's Association. It came at an amazing time for us. The walk occurred only weeks after Ray's passing. We were able to have this wonderful outlet that the Alzheimer's Association provides for us. I'll tell you, Bill Fisher, we are so proud to support your organization and the work you guys do. It is incredible, and it gives us a wonderful outlet to express our intention here. I want to call out our team, Team Dolby. We're over 130 people strong here today. We're walking not just here in San Francisco, but around the world to support the Alzheimer's associations and affiliated organizations around the world. So Los Angeles, New York, Sydney, Australia, and so on. So we're very proud to support this organization globally through our efforts at Dolby. But what I can say as well about the Alzheimer's Association, one of the things I love about this association, Bill, is that you raise awareness. That's really important to all of us. You raise funds. You also raise our spirits. You raise our confidence that there's something that can be done. And this gives us the perfect outlet and platform to do something about this disease. I'm sure that all of us are affected in one way or another by this disease. We're very happy to be able to express that in some positive way. Today is not a day to mourn. It's not a day to be sad. Today is a day to remember the folks that we know who've passed, who were affected by this, and to work together for a cure. So we're very happy to be part of this. Thanks for having us here.
Thank you very much. Andrew Delkamper and Team Dolby. They've been here ever since I've been doing this walk, so thank you guys very much for coming out. The coal that drives the San Francisco Alzheimer's Walk. Every train has to have a conductor, right? The conductor is the person who keeps the thing on time. He punches your ticket, and he makes sure that that train arrives at the station and departs on time. He's a friend of mine. He's the reason I'm here, and really got me involved in this and Channel 5 14 years ago, and pleasure to know him. Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of the Northern California and Nevada chapter of the Alzheimer's Association, Mr. Bill Fisher.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis, and thanks to CBS 5 for being such great champions for such a long time. Andrew, thank you for your generous remarks. Team Dolby, thank you so much for being here. Thanks to everybody for coming out this morning. If you were with us the last few years, you know this is a new place for us, and we're still figuring it out. But a beautiful morning, great. If you could look at, if you could see what I can see, there's a great crowd. I want to say to those of you in the back, get your flowers and come on up. We're going to have the flower ceremony very soon. And for me, at least, it's sort of the emotional high point of the morning. So get your flower, come and be with us. So I am proud to be the CEO of the Alzheimer's Association of Northern California and Northern Nevada. Lost my maternal grandmother to Alzheimer's in an era when people said grandma was senile. Nobody used the word. Lost my mother-in-law, lost my father to this disease. Over 5 million Americans, 15 million by the middle of the century if we don't stop it. The RAND Corporation says Alzheimer's is the most costly medical condition in the U.S. $160 billion it cost Medicare and Medicaid last year. Today we're here making a difference. We're here to support the mission of the Alzheimer's Association. We believe we can create a world without Alzheimer's disease and at the same time make a difference in the quality of life for the people living with it. We offer a 24/7 helpline. Tonight, I'll sleep soundly at 2 in the morning knowing that trained professionals are on the other end of that helpline, ready to talk to any family with an important question dealing with a crisis in their home. We have educational programs. ALZ.org is a wonderful location to learn more about science, about advocacy, about caregiving issues. Always updated, always on top of this issue. We have caregiver support groups, early stage programs. People with a diagnosis are a key part of our mission these days, key part of our work. And we are proud to be the largest private nonprofit funders of Alzheimer's science in the world. Right now we have over 340 active research projects going on. I saw Dennis and I did an interview on CBS 5 this morning. Dennis always asks me the hard question. So how close are we to a cure? And honestly, I don't have an answer to that, but I can tell you we are making progress. And I can tell you that the scientists we fund absolutely believe we can beat this thing. That our children and grandchildren do not have to either have Alzheimer's or care for someone who does. We will get there. We're making lots of progress. There are drugs in trial right now. We're anxious to see how they come out. We're making progress. At the end of the day, though, the challenge with Alzheimer's, I think Dennis asked me this question in the interview as well, is to bring it out of the closet. Over half of the cases are not diagnosed. There are no survivors. It's not a pretty thing. It's a tough thing to get people to talk about. It's a tough thing to get people to look at. Walk is the antidote. Walk is the antidote. Walk is the strategic experience for this association. Walk is where we are not defeated. Alzheimer's is too often an experience of loss, but not here, not today. Today you are here with people who know your journey. They may not know you, but you are shoulder to shoulder with people who care about this, who see a different path, who see a different future, who are not ashamed, are not embarrassed, are willing to talk about it, to bring it out into the light and talk about Alzheimer's disease and say we are active. Walk is where we register the most registered advocates of any place in our year. Stop at the advocacy tent, sign up. If you sign up, we will send you email. It's what you do with it that matters. Clinical trials. After money, the second biggest impediment to progress in research is participation in clinical studies. Sign up for Trial Match. Be part of this. Be part of a different future. You are here today. I thank you so much. Walk is 25% of our budget for the year. It's very important to us. Thank you for everything you have done coming here today. Thank you for struggling with the parking and finding us and being here. We'll be back next year. Bring your friends. Be part of this. Thank you so much. Now, any good nonprofit organization in the I am so proud of the Alzheimer's Association. It is a solid organization, thrives because it has great volunteer leadership, and it's my great pleasure to bring to the stage now the president of the board of directors of the Alzheimer's Association, Northern California, Northern Nevada, Karen Stevenson.
Thank you, Bill. It is such an honor to lead this chapter. We are the biggest, the most successful chapter in the nation, and it's because of all of you. And I want to thank you all for being here. So I want to tell you just a brief bit about my personal experience with Alzheimer's. My mom had Alzheimer's. She lived with the disease for about 15 years, and she died in 2011. And there was a moment when I first realized that maybe something might be wrong. We were in a grocery store, and my mother picked up an object. It was round, and it was yellow, and it was large. And she said to me, "Honey, what is this?" And I looked at her, I laughed. I said, "Mom, what do you mean?" She said, "No, really, what is this?" And I hesitated a moment, and I said, "Well, Mom, that's a grapefruit. That's your favorite fruit." And she kind of nodded and said, "Oh," like that. Now, looking back, I realized that that was the start of a very long and difficult road. And I know that a lot of you here today are on that road with someone you love, or you have taken that road, or perhaps you're on that road yourself. And that's why all of us are here today. We've been working really, really hard to hit our goal. We have a goal this year of $1.2 million. Last year, this walk raised $1 million, and we know we can do better, and we're on track to meet that higher goal. Walk doesn't end today, so after we wrap up all the things that are going on here today, you'll still have an opportunity to ask your friends, to contribute, and to make sure we reach and, what the heck, exceed that goal. That's where we hope to go. So Alzheimer's is going to be with us. It's not backing down, and neither should we. And speaking of refusing to back down, I would like to introduce to you a brave man who will be speaking out about his personal experience with dementia-related disorder. Please welcome to the stage Steve Barbieri and his wife, Tracy. Thank you.
I get a little nervous, so I had to write it down. Good morning, everyone. My name is Stephen Barbieri, and I have dementia. I was diagnosed 3 years ago with early onset of dementia at the age of 51. I get asked all the time, what is the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's? Let's talk about ice cream. Everybody likes ice cream. So when you say ice cream, you're not saying a flavor, you're saying a word that groups all the flavors together. So when you say dementia, you're using it just like saying ice cream, you're grouping all of them together. Ice cream has two most common flavors, chocolate and vanilla. Dementia has two most common types as well. Alzheimer's, which adds up to about 65 to 80% of most dementia cases, as well as vascular dementia, which could result from having a stroke. I have a different flavor. I have CTE. I'm going to try and pronounce it. Chronic Traumatic Encephalopathy, something like that. That's why I'm glad they shortened it to CTE. It's what a lot of the NFL football players have been diagnosed over the years from head injuries and concussions. Over the years, I've had my share of head injuries and concussions as well. They say there are 7 stages of dementia. I'm about 3-ish. Some people will say different. I have short-term memory problems. I have word-finding problems when I speak. I tend to repeat myself, which drives my wife and my kids crazy. I have terrible sleep patterns at night. I typically during the day have to take a nap every day at 3:30 to recharge my battery. Just like a cell phone needs to recharge, I need to recharge my battery though every day at 2:30. I have a bucket list like most people. We have 3 children. I want to see my kids graduate from college and walk to get their diplomas. I want to see my son Stephen get married. I want to walk my daughters down the aisles at their wedding. I want to see my grandchildren and know who they are when they're sitting on my lap. My wife Tracy has a hard time at weddings. She cries a lot when the father-daughter dance happens, but for different reasons than most. She's afraid that I may not know who my daughters are at the time when I'm dancing with them. My coworkers remember me for many of my one-liners. When is the best time to do something? Now. I don't expect anybody to do anything I'm not willing to do myself. I can't just sit back and wait for someone else to help find a cure. I've heard and read that a cure is within 10 years if it's properly funded. So based on these walks, this is where we're helping with the funding. So I'm here today with my wife as Team Kick All. That's what our shirt says. We actually sold over 200 of these shirts as part of my fundraiser, again, to help walk to find a cure. And here's my wife, Tracy, for a moment.
Good morning. It's wonderful to see so many faces out there in the crowd. This is a big venue. It's very nice. We just want to thank everyone for coming out and helping fund the research. Our biggest dream is that there will be a cure in the next few years so that other people's children don't have to their father repeat himself so many times a day or not know where their school is that he's driven to for years, not know what sport they're playing or don't remember that day. My biggest fear is the wedding. We went to several this last summer and it was very difficult because I just pray that there is a cure before our time comes for that day so that their father will know who they are and is able to walk down the aisle with them and be of right mind. So please keep going with the funding and so that the research can come through, and we just all pray for a quick and wonderful finding of the cure for this horrible disease. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We are now going to start, Steve, if I could just ask you to stay here for just a second. We are now going to start our Promise Flower ceremony. And I agree with Bill. It really is the emotional heart of the event, and I will try to get through it in one piece. But here, Steve, I'd love to give you this blue flower. You'd stand here with me as we do this. I wonder if those of you who are seated would stand at this moment. If you can't stand, please, obviously stay seated, but if you can, that's great. So as you look around you, you'll notice a sea of orange, yellow, purple, and blue flowers. And these flowers highlight our different reasons for being here today, all of our reasons for ending Alzheimer's. So would Lucretia Way come up, please? Okay. Does anybody know Lucretia? Okay, how about this? Who's holding an orange flower? I need someone with an orange flower to come on up. Hey, Dagmar, wonderful. All right. All right. So the orange flower represents people like Dagmar Dolby, who's worked tirelessly to raise money from her friends and neighbors and colleagues. And she's here today because she supports the cause and vision of a world without Alzheimer's. So if you have an orange flower, would you please raise it now? Join Dagmar in raising hers and keep it held high. Thank you so much. All right. Yes, I know you do. Okay, now I'd like to introduce Elise and Zoe Nickel. And they're going to be bringing up purple flowers. And Elise and Zoe lost their grandma. Is that right? Your grandma, that's right, to Alzheimer's. And they are here today because they really care about this mission. And so they want to honor their grandmother. And if you have a purple flower, please, girls, why don't you come up here so people can see you? Great. please join us in raising your purple flower and keeping it held high. How about Jason Laveglia? Is Jason here? Here's Jason. Great. Jason's bringing a yellow flower to the stage. Why don't you two move up too? You're in the shadows. Yeah, great. And Jason is here today. He represents people who are caring for someone with Alzheimer's. He's here today because he's caring for his mom who has vascular dementia. And he recently moved to San Francisco just to be closer to her and become more deeply involved in her care. Volunteering and being more involved in her care has really given him a deeper understanding of the disease and how much needs to be done. So if you have a yellow flower, would you please join Jason in raising it now and keeping it held high? Wow, this is a great sight to see. Okay, got all my flowers here? All right, and Steve, you represent people who are living with a dementia-related disorder. And so if you have a blue flower, would you please raise it now and keep it held high? I think you, like me, you were doubtless very moved by what Steve and Tracy had to say. And they are here to say that even though the road ahead may be uncertain, right now the disease is not going to silence them or keep them from stopping to walk with all of us today. And he is walking for himself and for the more than 5 million other people in the country who currently have the disease. So if you take a look at all these people and the symbolic flowers they hold, they represent the promises that we've come together today to fulfill. It's a colorful display of our intent to honor, to remember, to care, and to fight for a cure. So now look around you. No matter what color you're holding, you're not alone in facing Alzheimer's, and you're not alone in your dedication to conquering this disease. These flowers, and I'm supposed to raise mine, but I don't have one, but if I did, it would be purple. These flowers are our reasons to end Alzheimer's, and this is our fight to win, and we are going to win it. And I believe that the end of Alzheimer's starts with you, it starts with me, and together we're going to put a stop to this disease. Thank you so much for coming out and for raising your flowers. And I think the next speaker is Dennis. You can put the flowers down now. Take a seat. Thank you.
Karen, great job. Thank you. That's always the most emotional part of this ceremony. Steve's story is just incredible, and those of us who cover sports for a living are very aware of CTE and the NFL's denial in its existence, and the fact that we know what it is now is really opening the eyes of people who follow football and the National Football League. So Steve, thanks for sharing that story. Great story. Okay, we are minutes away from the start of the 2015 Alzheimer's Walk. That's the starting line right over here. So to keep with my train speech throughout this, all aboard! 10 o'clock, just a few minutes away, folks.